Hey guys, welcome back to the second part of this series of the 1975 Fiasco. I hope you like the first part. So we're going to introduce the district of Ecija, Brother Charles Sinuko. He gave a second talk, but this talk is, the title was Stay Alive to 75. So let's have a look how he introduced this talk to the Jehovah Witnesses, and let's have a look if he did actually mention anything about the year 1975, or he actually insinuated anything. So let's have a look and let's listen to his talk.
Some of us looking forward to a change in this old system and its destruction for many years now. There are some of us who get a little weary and a little tired. And sometimes we just want to throw our hands up and say, I just don't know if I can go on any further. But just like a runner, when he's running a course and he gets near to the end, just about the time when he thinks he just can't go on any further, he realizes, well, there's the goal ahead of him. He's come around the last lap, and there it is. Well, all of a sudden, he just seems to get some reserve power from nowhere, and with a sudden surge of energy, on he goes to break the finish line rope and win the prize. Well, now, as Jehovah's Witnesses, as runners, even though some of us have become a little weary, it almost seems as though Jehovah has provided meat in due season, because he's held up before all of us a new goal, a new year, something to reach out for, and it just seems it's given all of us so much more energy and power in this final burst of speed for the finish line. And that's the year 1975. Do we really know what it means? Well, we don't have to guess what the year 1975 means. If we read the Watchtower, because the Watchtower has been very explicit as to what the year 1975 means for us. If you wish to write down the page, 262, in the 1967 issue of the Watchtower, we read, what does the year 1975 mean for humankind? The end of 6,000 years of human existence, and possibly the time when God executes the wicked and starts off a 1,000-year reign under his Son, Jesus Christ. Unquote. What did it say? The end of 6,000 years of human existence, and that's all? No. It gave us a little more to think about there. Did it say for certainty the time when God executes the wicked and starts off the 1,000-year reign by Jesus Christ? No. But it did give us a glimmer of light. It says possibly the time when God executes the wicked and starts off the 1,000-year reign of his Son, Jesus Christ, 1975. Does that give you a little bit of excitement about the future? Even if there is the possibility that that's it, when God will bring the battle of Armageddon and clean this whole earth off, and you'll be ushered right into a paradise earth forevermore, never again to be afflicted with this satanic old system of things. It will be gone down. Well, it should excite all of us. There are the skeptics who say, well, I'm not going to think about it and not worry about it. Not even going to pay attention to it. Well, now remember, brothers, the faithful and discreet slave is used by Jesus Christ to do what? Jesus says to provide meat in due season. This is meat, and it's come at the right time, and it's in its due season, and it's not wrong to think about it and to look forward to it. As far as knowing for sure, well, we know what we know for sure. We just read it. The end of 6,000 years of human history, and possibly The execution of the wicked in the beginning of the 1,000-year reign. And that should be exciting enough and talk enough for us. As one brother put it, stay alive to 75.
So that was amazing. That was crazy, the stuff that he said. I mean, we now have the evidence that they were actually pointing to 1975. There is no question about it. I mean, the stuff that he said was just astonishing. Well, let's go through what he said. Let's have a look at the highlights, and let's go through it again just to make sure we're not making things up. So let's have a look. The first thing that we're going to look at this highlight was this one. Let's pop this up. So he said, Jehovah has provided meat and in due season. Okay. So what is the meat in due season? The meat in due season is information that is coming from Jehovah or from the slave, the faithful and discreet slave, and it's coming at the right time. This is what it means. And the second thing that they said is because he's held up before all of us a new goal, a new year. What is this new goal, a new year? Well, of course, he's pointing out to the 1975. This is a new goal and a new year. And what did he say here? And that's the year 1975. See? He said it, he himself. Do we really know what it means? Well, we don't have to guess. Oh, we don't have to guess. We don't have to make things up because I'm about to tell you. Let's have a look what it means. What the year 1975 means is what we read at the Watchtower. Oh, okay. What did the Watchtower say? And look what it says here. Because the Watchtower has been very explicit. So there is no question about what the Watchtower meant. As to what the year 1975 means for us, if you wish to write it down, it's at page 262. And in the 1967 issue of the Watchtower, we read what does the year 1975 means for humankind. The end of 6,000 years of human existence. So that is the mark. That is the right point of the 6,000 years of human existence. And what comes, we already seen what comes after the 6,000 years of human existence. It comes the one they were pointing to the 1,000 years reign of Jesus Christ. But the thing that they did mention, because they were certain about this 6,000 year human existence, but then they said, and possibly they were sort of putting the icing on the cake by adding this up. They're saying, and possibly the time when God executes the wicked and starts off 1,000-year reign. Possibly. But they didn't deny it. They said, oh, possibly, but maybe not. Possibly. Always as is not denying, but affirming or adding to what is God, what are they sure about? And that his son, Jesus Christ. What did it say here? Again, this brother is going back to reconfirm what the Watchtower said. So what did it say? The end of 6,000 years of human existence. And that's all? And that's all? No. It gave us a little more to think about. Okay, he's again going back and reinforcing, adding more eyes on the cake. So the Jehovah Witnesses and the public will be certain of what they're saying, so there's no confusion later on. That they say for certainty, the time. You see this word there, certainty. That doesn't mean maybe. It doesn't mean possibly. It doesn't mean probably. No, it means they are certain, 100% sure. The time when God executes the wicked and starts off 1,000-year reign by Jesus Christ. No, but it did give us a glimmer of light. It says possibly the time when God executes the wicked and starts off the 1,000-year reign of his son Jesus Christ, 1975. And what did he mention about the skeptics? Like, oh, maybe the ones that they don't believe us. What did he say about them? Let's have a look what he said again. So it should excite all of us. There are the skeptics who will say, well, I'm not going to think about it. I'm not worrying about it. Now, you're going to pay attention to it. We'll now remember, brothers. The faithful and discreet slaves is used by Jesus Christ to do what? To do what? Jesus says to provide meat in due season. This is the meat, guys. This is the meat. The 1975 information is the meat. And it's coming at the right time. Just before the 1975. So you can get ready. And to look forward to it as far as knowing for sure. Well, we know that. We know for sure. They know for sure. The Watchtower knows for sure. We just read it. The end of the 6,000 years, he's saying again, of human history. Again, and possibly, more iced on the cake, the execution of the wicked, meaning, again, everyone else. All the little kids, all the mothers, all the fathers, and all the people around the world. There is no compassion there, guys. If you're not with it, sorry, too late. And the beginning of the 1,000 years race, and that should excite us. Oh, yes. And how did he end the talk? Stay alive to 75. And this is the famous phrase of stay alive to 75. I mean, there is can't get any clearer than this, honestly. It cannot get any clearer than this. He is pointing out to 1975. They are sure, they are confident, they are certain. And if there's any skeptics, well, you better start listening to this. So this is the 7th publication we're going to look at. We're going to look at the Kingdom Ministry 1968, March, page 4. So let's bring that up. And it reads, just think, brothers, there are only about 90 months left before the 6,000 years of men's existence on earth is completed. Do you remember what we learned at the assemblies last summer? The majority of people living today will probably be alive when Armageddon breaks out. Did you hear that? Do you remember what we learned at the assemblies last summer? The majority, listen to this, guys, the majority of people living today, this is in 1968, will probably be alive when Armageddon breaks out. So they're pointing out to 1975 here. And there are no resurrection hopes. And this is the fear mongering now. And there are no resurrection hopes. So you better get onto it. For those who are destroyed then, so now more than ever, it is vital not to ignore that spirit of wanting to do more. So get onto it. Do more preaching. Give up your careers. Give up your plans of retirement, your plans of getting a new job, plans of children. Get onto it, because in a few years from now, everything's gonna come down. So pointing out, they are not saying again that it is coming, it is Armageddon, the end of the world, but they are pointing to it very clearly here that they are heading to Armageddon when it breaks out in just a few years after that. So now let's look at the 8 publications. So this is the Watchtower 1968, May the 1st. And the title of the Watchtower is, let me just make it a little bit bigger because I can't see it. Sorry, 1 second. Is Understanding Time I Help to True Worshippers, May the 1st, 1968. So let's read, it's on page 272, and it reads, the immediate future is certain to be filled with climatic events. The immediate future, pointing to the 1975, is certain to be filled with climatic events, for this old system is nearing its complete end. I mean, how much clearer do you need it to? I mean, they're saying pretty much the end is coming. Within a few years, guys, at most, the final parts of the Bible prophecy relative to these last days will undergo fulfillment, resulting in the liberation or surviving mankind into Christ's glorious 1,000-year reign. So here again, they're saying that 1975 will be Jesus Christ's 1,000-year reign, that which will point to 2,975. So here, they are not saying the end is coming, but they're saying the nearing completion of this system of things, or the system. Oh boy, there we go. All right, this is the 9th publication we're going to look at, the Watchtower 1968 in August 15. And the title of this publication is The Book of Truthful Historical Dates. So we're going to page 488, and then it reads, do we know that the 7th year from now will conclude the 6,000th year since Adam was created? And if we live to that year 1975, what should we expect to happen? They clearly stated the date here, 1975. And what should we expect to happen? So on page 494, we have to head to 494, and it says, why are you looking forward to 1975? So what is going to happen? So it reads, what about all this talk concerning the year 1975? Oh yes, what is all about? Come on, tell us. Lively discussions, some based on speculation, have burst into flame during recent months among serious students of the Bible. Their interests have been kindled by the belief that 1975 will mark the end of 6,000 years of human history since Adam's creation. The nearest of such an important date indeed fires the imagination and presents unlimited possibilities for discussion. But wait! How do we know the calculations are correct? So how do we know the calculations are correct? They're not saying, okay, so some of us think, we believe that maybe. No, but how do we know these are 100% correct? There is no doubt about this. What basis is there for saying Adam was created nearly 5,993 years ago? That's the one book that can be implicitly trusted for its truthful history accuracy, namely the inspired word of Jehovah, the Holy Bible, gives support and credence to such a conclusion. One thing is absolutely certain: Bible chronology reinforced with fulfilled Bible prophecy shows that 6,000 years of man's existence will soon be up. Yes, within this generation. This is therefore no time to be indifferent and complacent. This is not the time to be toying with the words of Jesus that concerning that day and hour nobody knows, neither the angels or the heavens nor the Son, but only the Father. Listen to the next part. To the contrary, it is a time when one should be keenly aware that the end of this system of things is rapidly coming to its violent end. Make no mistake, guys. It is sufficient that the Father himself knows both the day and the hour. Jesus Christ, man. Even if one cannot see beyond 1975, because we are not saying anything after 1975, we're just focusing in 1975. All our target is 1975. Is this any reason to be less active? Oh, hell no. The apostles could not see even this far. That's because they were thinking that it's coming back in that day, back in the day. They knew nothing about 1975. Obviously, they didn't even know anything about the Watchtower. All they could see was a short time ahead in which to finish the work assigned to them. Hence, there was a ring of alarm and a cry of urgency in all their writings. And rightly so. If they had delayed or dilly-dallied and had been complacent with the idea the end was some thousand years off, they would never have finished running the race set before them. No, they ran hard and they ran fast. They won. It was a life or death matter with them. So they're pointing this to the followers, saying this is a matter of death or life. So here they're fear mongering again. They're inculcating this fear in the Jehovah Witnesses. You better get on their race because it is coming and it's correct. We can trust it. It's 100%. It comes from Jehovah, and there's no doubt about it that the end of this the old system is coming, and it's coming fast. So we're going to look at the 10th publication, and this one is the Watchtower of 1968, which is the same one that we looked at before. On August 15, page 499, we're going to look at these paragraphs. Adam created a close of 6th day. Are we to assume from this study that the Battle of Armageddon will be all over by the autumn of 1975, and the long looked for 1,000-year reign of Christ will begin by then? So let's read this very carefully. Let's have a look at the language here. Possibly. Okay, they're not denying it, so possibly, and they're not saying it is. So maybe in defense, let's have a look. But we wait to see how closely the 7,000-year period of men's existence coincides with the Sabbath-like 1,000-year reign of Christ. If these two periods run parallel with each other as to the calendar year, it would not be by mere chance. Okay, here, you see, they say possibly, but here, they're turning the dial up. If these two periods run parallel with each other as to the calendar year, it would not be by mere chance of accidents. This is not an accident. This is well planned by God. But will be according to Jehovah's loving and timely purposes. So the dialing the dial up to, yes, it is. Our chronology, however, which is reasonably accurate, the Bible students' chronology is accurate. However, which is reasonably accurate, but admittedly not infallible, at the best only points to the autumn of 1975 as the end of 6,000 years of men's existence on earth. It does not necessarily mean that 1975 marks the end of the first 6,000 years of Jehovah's 7th creative day. Why not? Because after creative day, why not? Because after his creation, Adam lived some time during the 6th day, which a known amount of time will need to be subtracted from Adam's 930 years to determine when the 7,000 year period or day ended, how long Adam lived into the 7th day. And yet the end of that 6th day could end within the same Gregorian calendar year of Adam's creation. It may involve only a difference. Listen to this. It may only involve a difference of weeks or months, not years. So here in this paragraph, they were giving the idea that, okay, we're not sure where exactly in 1975 is coming, but we are not far off by weeks or months, not years. So it is coming 1975, but we're not sure which week or which month. That is what they're saying. But they're still pointing to 1975. All right, let's have a look at the 11th publication. We're going to see the Awake 1968, October the 8th. This one is later than you think. Oh, is it? Let's have a look at this. Page 13, guys. Let's have a look at this. Well, what will the 1970s bring? The fact that the 54 years of the period called the last days have already gone by is highly significant. It means that there are only a few years, only 5 years to go, guys, at most remain before the corrupt system of things dominating the earth is destroyed by God. Okay, this is loaded language. What is the corrupt system of things? The government, the religion, the wicked, the worldly people, all the mothers, the fathers, the kids, the babies, all of them gone, slaughtered by Jehovah. So this is what they mean by the corrupt system of things dominating the earth. So everything involves together. So only a few more years, according to this paragraph. So they are not denying it. They're not saying possibly. They're not saying some of us think, some of us just believe in this, but it's not really the teaching of the Watchtower. This was printed by the Watchtower. And then it gives a chart here. 6,000 years of human history ending in 1975. Oh, yes. 1975 CE, end of the 6,000 years. 61 years. There we go. Oh, yeah, baby. Thank you guys for watching the second part. And for the third part, we're going to be looking at more Watchtowers and more Awakes and another talk as well, and a few kingdom ministries as well. So don't miss the third part of this series, and let's see what we can find for the next one.